Welcome to another episode of Deep Tech Talks, the show where we explore the world of technology one layer deeper at a time. Whether you're a curious beginner, an aspiring developer, or a seasoned engineer, this podcast is your place to learn, get inspired, and stay connected with evolving tech landscape. Each week, we bring you a mix of segments from robotic stories and expert interviews to career advice and simplified tech explainers. Today's episode is part of our Tech Talk Simplified series, where we break down complex topics into ideas that anyone can understand and apply. And the title for today's episode is Talking to Machines, a Beginner's Guide to Prompt Engineering. Hey there, I'm Devang, and in this episode, we are going to explore how to talk to AI in a way that actually works. If you have ever typed a question in ChatGPT and ended up with a response that completely missed the mark, this one's for you. We'll walk through what prompt engineering is, why it matters, and how a few small changes in the way you ask can unlock dramatically better results. Let's get started. Talking to AI isn't magic, but it can definitely feel that way when it works just right. The result can be impressive, surprising, and sometimes a little too literal. Let's start with a story you might remember, the tale of King Midas. Midas was granted a wish by the gods, and he asked for everything he touched to turn to gold. At first, it was amazing: gold plates, gold furniture, gold walls. But soon the gift became a curse. His food turned to gold before he could eat it. His drink turned solid in the cup. And worst of all, when he hugged his daughter, she too turned into a lifeless golden statue. He got exactly what he asked for, not just what he truly wanted. The same principle shows up in a classic joke. A man goes to his priest and asks, Father, is it okay if I smoke while I pray? The priest is stunned. Absolutely not. Prayer is sacred. You should give it your full attention. So the man goes to a different priest and asks, Is it okay if I pray while I smoke? And this time, the priest smiles and says, Of course, one should always pray. Same fact, different framing, completely different outcome. That is what prompt engineering is all about. It's not about fancy algorithms or coding. It's about framing your instructions with care, clarity, and intent so that AI gives you what you meant, not just what you said. What is prompt engineering and why does it matter? At its core, prompt engineering is a practice of writing clear, specific instructions to guide an AI model's response. It's not programming and it doesn't require a technical background. Think of it as precision communication with a system that only works with what you explicitly give it. Here's a simple analogy. Imagine you're using a music app. If you just say play something good, you might get jazz, EDM, or a random polka track. But if you say play 90s Bollywood romantic hits, the app knows exactly what you want. The tech didn't change, only the input did. Now let's apply this to real use cases. If you type write a resume, the AI might give you a bland template with placeholder text. But if you say write a two-pager resume for a backend engineer with 5 years of Java experience applying to a health tech startup, AI now understands the structure, voice, and content it needs to deliver. That small shift transforms the output. Why does this matter? Because AI tools like ChatGPT are not mind readers. They only work with the text you provide. A vague or incomplete prompt will lead to generic or confusing answers. But a well crafted prompt can save time, reduce friction, and feel like you are working with an assistant who really gets you. Whether you're summarizing a document, drafting a cover letter, writing code, or brainstorming ideas, the quality of your outcome directly depends on how you asked for it. Just like Midas' story or the priest joke, the way you phrase your request shapes everything. Basic prompting tips. So, now that we have defined prompt engineering and why it matters, let's go over some basic tips that you can start using today to get better results from AI. Tip 1: Start simple, then refine. You don't need a perfect prompt the first time. Begin with something like summarize this article, then follow up with refinements like now make it shorter or turn it into bullet points. Think of AI like an helpful intern. You steer it and it adjusts. Tip 2: Be specific. AI doesn't understand meaning the way people do, it relies on patterns. If you say write a story, the result might be vague or mismatched. But if you say write a 200-word bedtime story about a robot and a lost kitten for a 5-year-old, you get something much more tailored. Tip 3: Use role prompts. This means assigning a persona to the AI. For example, act as a math tutor explaining fractions to a 10-year-old. Or you are a product designer advising a junior teammate. This helps take AI on a more suitable voice and tone for the task. Tip 4: Set context. Sometimes a little background goes the long way. Saying you are helping a nervous job seeker write their first resume is far more helpful than simply saying write a resume. The more context, the more relevant the response. Tip 5: Add constraints. Limits actually help AI focus. Try things like keep it under 100 words, or use simple non technical language, or write it in a fun tone like a text message. Constraint sharpens creativity. And finally, tip 6: Iterate. It's completely normal for your first prompt to be just a starting point. If the AI response isn't quite right, ask follow up questions. Say, make this friendlier, or add more real world examples. Prompting is a collaborative process. Prompt makeover: before and after. Now let's take the steps and see how they play out with some real world prompt makeovers. Example 1: Lazy question to focus research prompt. What would a bad prompt look like? Tell me about climate change. Better prompt: give me a bullet point summary of the cause and effect of climate change, written for a high school audience with one recent example from the news. That extra detail about the format, tone, and recency makes a big difference. Example 2: too open to personalized productivity plan. The bad prompt would look like this: how can I be more productive? Better prompt: give me a daily productivity routine for someone who works remotely, struggles with focus in the afternoons, and has a 3 hour block free in the mornings. Now the AI can personalize the advice to fit your real life situation. Example 3: broad concept to teaching role with analogy. Bad prompt would look like this: explain machine learning. Better prompt: act as a friendly computer science teacher. Explain machine learning to a high school student using a sports analogy. Suddenly, the explanation is not only clearer, but also more memorable. Example 4: generic to structured plan. The bad prompt would look like this: help me plan a birthday party. Better prompt: plan a fun indoor party for a 10-year-old with a robot theme, including games, snacks, and decoration. Keep it low budget. With just a little direction, the AI shifts from vague ideas to detailed, relevant plan. Final takeaway: prompt engineering isn't about getting it right the first time, it's about learning to ask smarter questions, add structure, clarify your goal, and give AI a role. When you do that, the result stops being generic and starts becoming genuinely useful. So, there you have it. Prompt engineering is not some niche technical skill. It's about communication, clarity, and creativity. Whether you are a student, a knowledge worker, or someone just getting curious about AI, learning to prompt effectively helps you move from being a passive user to an active collaborator. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be intentional. Start simple, experiment, and refine. Often the best results come not from the first prompt, but from the third to fourth revision, where the real clarity kicks in. Thanks for tuning into Deep Tech Talks. If this episode helped demystify the process of talking to machines, consider sharing it with a friend. Try out your prompt makeovers and tag us with your favorite before and after results. We would love to see you create. And if you are ready to go deeper, join us next week for Prompting with Purpose: How to Level Up from Guesswork to Strategy. We'll explore how to go beyond one off instructions and start designing prompts with strategy, structure, and repeatability in mind. Until next time, keep asking smart questions because the better you ask, the better your AI answers.